And now we have an interview with Richie Gil, director of Ether Tales and Action. There we go. How are we doing, Richard?
I'm good.
Doing very well, very well. Nice to see you. I feel like I've interviewed you before, but I could
Deja
be.
vu.
I know, right? It happens when it rains here in Florida,
right?
The humidity,
like accidents.
Hey, like plugs up our ears. So, all right. Well, congratulations on. Hey, very exciting. I heard some news that this is your debut film.
This is for filming. So
For filming.
I have acted in a few films, like Agent X, See Me the series, Nothing Else Matters the series. So this is my break into directing.
Very well, very
yes,
well.
Yes,
very
and into
well.
horror.
Into horror
yes,
too.
A whole new genre, a whole new everything.
Have you ever acted as an actor in a horror film?
I have not.
Not.
But I've always been interested. And I was always fascinated by the slasher films, in the 90s. And so now being part of it and being creative.
Yeah, super dope.
Yeah. I'm an artist in the background. My background is art, digital art, you know what I mean? So getting into this genre actually has let me, like doing the poster, for instance, doing the artwork, conceptualizing when it comes to storyboards. I mean, every part of the story, as soon as Bruce got with me, I was like, all right, let me run with this, And so even from drawing it up and just sketching out the ideas to now seeing Yaya perform, it's amazing.
We have to take off that director and just put super artist, bro. You know what I'm saying? Super artist.
It's a new role.
Yeah.
It's a new role. But you know what? That's independent filmmaking, really. You know what I mean? It might say director, but really behind the scenes, you're taking care of all kinds of, you're wearing all kinds of hats, and that's just, you're trying to just make the art. My thing is, I fell in love with creating the film and seeing actors and actresses, from that side of things, and now from behind the camera, putting it together is a whole new adventure. And so I fell in love with that. You know what I mean? And so I'm having fun, man. I'm having fun with the genre. I'm having fun with the story. Bruce is amazing. The way that, all the layers that he's put into this script has been super fun. It's like a puzzle, How are we going to make this happen? How do we make this visual?
Right.
And I've had a total blast, man.
That's good. I'm happy that you've been having that good experience with coming from an actor, artist to a director. That's super cool. Yeah. Hopefully one day you're inspiring me to do that, bro. That's super exciting.
Hopefully. It's been really cool going from acting, especially with having that background or having that experience, to then falling into the director side of things. It's helped me really actually hone in with the acting skills. Because now I see the psychological, mindset that you got to get in and help the artist kind of get into the scripts and into the role. And when I was acting, it was only my world, I was like in this script and I was sitting here trying to get this character, and put a character to life, and it was just there, just that. But now directing, you got the whole story, the whole arc, everybody. How do you put everybody together and how do you interact, this story with that one? And so it's a whole different thing.
It's intense, you got to keep that whole storyline consistent, and just, it's crazy how some people can pick out a flaw. Find flaws, but actors usually, ones with the background experience, the actor's experience, they catch the things very quickly. So when it comes to the directing production, you got this. I believe in that, bro.
I mean, it's a dynamic event, you know what I mean? The energy, it's a different focus. So directing on the director's side, as opposed to the acting side, like I said, it's like you focus on one character, whereas directing, I'm focusing on how do I get that one actor to have the right energy to react with this actor, to then, later on in the film connect with this actor, and what happens there. So it's a lot of things that you're thinking about, and I think it's more excitement. For me, as a director now, I'm more excited telling the stories because I see it formulating. I see it. Whereas an actor, I'm like, okay, I'm focusing on me, my role, how am I a part of this story, And now as a director, I'm taking all of these players and I'm like, oh man, I'm excited every time because I can't wait to share with everybody, but I can't sometimes, until they premiere it and see it. But it's a different excitement as well. It's a totally different excitement being on the director's side. You know
So, being your director, are you having all the other departments taken care of, like your casting, or are you doing the casting yourself? Are you picking out who the actors are, or do you have someone doing that for you?
We do have, well, we work together, you know, we have casting. Bruce has kind of gathered a team, you know, and as the team, and casting has been by Bruce as well. So, an amazing people. So we're getting actors from all different kinds of genres, backgrounds, and so I'm actually talking with the actors and getting to know them as Bruce brings them in, and I'm reading the script. So now I'm trying to formulate all the character arcs with each character. So I haven't actually picked the characters. I gave some ideas for some. We'll keep that for another interview. I want you guys to see it, you know, because right now we're still just producing. So this is the introduction to the idea, right? Okay. But as we develop, even with you guys, right, and we want this to be an experience. So that's how we're designing this. That's why we want the following. That's why we want to interview with you guys now, because we want to kind of let people in on the production, on what happens in the background, and especially as a debut directing gig here. You know what I mean? I want to show that journey. You know what I mean? I think it's exciting. It's fascinating nowadays, in this day and age, with independent film, to show that there's people. I'm debuting. You know what I mean? Directed, but I'm doing it. It's exciting, you know what I mean? So I think I want to share that experience. I think it's important, especially with the community, right? And with the independent film market. Community, there you go. Good word.
Yes, sir.
And so that's kind of what excites me, and that's what's driving me to continue. Because I think what's more important in the journey is the follow through.
Yes.
And I think that's that's the challenge for a lot of us, especially in independent filmmaking, is great idea, great team, and now the follow through, right?
Yeah, the consistency.
How do we get to this point? How do we get to this point where we are actually talking about the project, where we're showing the project, getting feedback from the project, having people see it, you know what I mean? And so following through, this excites us, and we use it as energy to push us through the production. Because as a debut director, it's frightening.
It is.
It's a lot. It's a lot coming at me. You know what I mean? And so I need that push. I need that motivation as well. You know? So the follow through, I think, is really important.
And how do you think is a good way of being able to get that push, to build that momentum to just keep on going? What's the best tool that you feel as a director and of the team? What can you do?
It's funny you say that, because it's probably going to be an answer that is not expected, right? Fear. We're at a Tampa Bay screen, right? That wasn't a plug or a segue, but it's actually relevant because with me, I've come to get comfortable with something I'm afraid of. I've tried to now take it on a challenge. So when I say fear, my producer, right? We're producing this film and we're doing this film, and he's like, we're going to a festival, and I'm like, huh? Huh? You know what? So what I mean by that, right, is that fear of, oh my God, we're already going to show people that day. Once you get into this production and now coming out to do this, I'm more comfortable.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It really is. You're so right about that. You have to, when you're coming into market and you're like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and but if I do this, if it doesn't have a good turnout, this is gonna put me down, you know. And have you ever felt you had that feeling of like setting yourself up for a letdown?
Yes.
A lot of actors, a lot of directors deal with this situation. Like, what if no one's gonna like it? The fear. So I understand the fear. I understand the fear.
So I think that. So what I've come to realize is that taking the fear, like you said, what is the biggest help? I've been to it. So I actually got to thank my producer for getting us out here talking about the project. Because a lot of times as creators and as creatives, we stay in and we kind of stay in our own ideas, and we're like afraid that it's not ready, what people are going to think. But when you finally get over that fear, right, and you get out into the public and you share your ideas, what you find is that there's people that dig it. And you're like, okay, well, you know what I mean? And in turn, you see that fear that you overcame, right, pushed through, now it's motivation, right?
Yes,
and
sir.
so now you
Yes, sir.
kind of feed on that
That's
energy.
exciting.
Yeah, right. And so that's what I've come to learn. That's helped me to answer the question, right? Full circle. To help me get over that, get into it, and continue and go through with the follow through. Is to continue facing the fears of production, the things that hold you back. That's what's helped me, man. Honestly.
So you heard that. You heard that with your own ears. Mr. Gil over here says, "Get comfortable being uncomfortable."
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yes, thank you so much for that. Get uncomfortable. Like, get into Screen Lab. Talk to people about the script. Work the script. Act on the script. And if it's not so well, people will tell you this is what you can do better. Just get uncomfortable or being comfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Follow
Very
through.
nice.
Follow through. Jump into the fear. Invite it. Find somebody that'll push you. Support. Right? Because independent filmmaking is a team sport. You have to. It is a resource sport. It is a team sport, and you have to find resources. You have to get with like energies. You have to come with like-minded people that have an idea, that have a skill set, in the industry. Coming to festivals like this, where you meet people that'll invite, new skill sets. That'll talk to you, and you're like, man, that's exactly what I was looking for. Again, it goes with motivation, and it helps with the follow through. Because that's how you get the end project. It's the only way to do it, right? Other than that, it's just a project that sits on the shelf.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your words of wisdom. Everybody, look at this up. Richard Gil, director of The Ether Tales. Go check it out right now. Coming out in 2025. Right now, we are going to move on to Mr. Bruce Willis.